is me, and I apologize for how I look, for starters. This isn't my personal channel. I'm not gonna get all done up for you because this channel is gonna be stressful. It is always going to be jam-packed with information and current issues, and I'm not gonna sit here and look pretty and try to sugarcoat every little thing. So if you're going to comment about my appearance and tell me to look better, no, I'm not going to. If you want to see me look better, go ahead to my other channel. So the Friday before, we talked about Breonna Taylor, and the Friday after, Andrew talked about privilege and allies and how that all works and how it should go down instead of the way it goes down now, which is very important. And if you have not watched his video, please go watch it. This channel is not something to miss. You do not want to miss any episode. If you miss an episode, you will be lost and you will have no clue on what's going on. Now, I started off rather broad and with a very touchy subject that shouldn't even be touchy or controversial or anything like that. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We got the red notebook, and it's full of information from my videos, and it only gets filled up when I start research on a subject. Now, this week's topic is going to be about none other than Elijah McClain. He was this sweet young man, and he would play violin for cats and whatever animal shelter he would go to. I'm pretty sure he worked at one, and if that's not correct, or not if that's not correct, if you're looking for that information, it'll be linked down below. I'm sorry, I'm filming this at night as usual. You guys should know that by now. But yes, he would play violin for cats, kittens, animals. He was very sweet. I don't think he had a mean bone in his body. Nobody knew who he was until he was killed. And when I say nobody knew who he was, I don't mean he had nobody. I mean everyone, as in different countries, different states, different cities, different towns. It was just him, his family, his friends, whoever he worked with, whoever he dated. That's all who knew who he was. And now he's a hot topic because he was killed by the police. And there's so many killings by police of young black people and people of color just for misunderstandings. There are no misunderstandings. It's just solely because you don't like the color of their skin. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into it. We've got a couple pages to talk about, and it's not jam-packed, of course, because we don't want these videos to be more than 20 to 30 minutes unless they have to be. And of course, as before, everything will be linked down below. Information sites, donation sites, and petitions. Whatever you need to know will be down in the description below. Alright, so Elijah McClain, I'm sorry. The first thing I have that we're really going to touch base on is from The Cut. It explains what happened to him, and it's basically like a little synopsis, or synopsis, however you say it. And the article's name is What We Know About the Killing of Elijah McClain. So, it's just going to lay down what happened, and I'm going to explain a little bit on what happened. We got a couple pages, so bear with me and pay attention. Like I said, you don't want to miss an episode. If you miss an episode, I'm sorry, you're going to have to go back to whatever one you watched to see where we are and what we're doing. Alright, without further ado, Last August, police officers in Aurora, Colorado, approached 23-year-old Elijah McClain as he walked home from a convenience store. The Aurora Police Department later said that a 911 caller had reported a suspicious person in a ski mask, and that when officers confronted McClain, who was not armed and had not committed any kind of crime. And I'm going to pause right there, put my 2 cents in, as per normal. It's always someone who's unarmed when it comes to people of color. Whether that being a black person, a Mexican person, any person of Asian descent, because they can be pretty dark too. Don't get it twisted. If you live in the Philippines, you will be a little dark. Someone of Hispanic descent, if you have color in your skin, and if you are unarmed and you look suspicious, they will automatically assume you're doing something wrong. And that is basically what this case is. He was literally going home. And yeah, ski masks became the staple of criminals, I guess. But now you can buy them as an actual hat, like a fashion accessory. He probably wore that ski mask because it was maybe a little chilly at night, or maybe he just wanted to wear a cool hat. He was literally just coming home. He was probably getting some snacks, and he was probably playing his violin for some cats or something like that. Nobody really knows what he was doing prior to leaving and being at a convention store. Nobody knows that, except for his friends, family, and whoever. So I can't speak on that for certain. And I'm going to throw that out there now. I cannot speak on his whereabouts before. But he was innocent, and I do know that. He didn't even have a weapon on him. Anyway, he resisted arrest. In the 15 minutes that follow, the officers tackled McClain to the ground, put him in a carotid hold, and called first responders, who injected him with ketamine. Ketamine is a synthetic compound used as an anesthetic drug and also illicit as a hallucinogen. Basically, you can use this for people who are getting surgery so they don't feel pain, but if you take a certain amount or too much, it can be lethal. And he was a small boy. He was kind of tall, but he was very slender. And they gave him way too much. They drugged this boy. And I'll never understand why they did this. He was just going home. He didn't rob the place. He didn't have a gun held to the cashier. He was probably buying some snacks. Man, like, you can't just do that. It's so wrong in so many ways, and I can't begin to explain how it's wrong. I mean, I can, but we'd be here for so long. But they drugged this poor boy. He was 23. We don't know if he had a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whoever. All we know now is that he's not going to get to experience life. He's not going to experience a lot anymore because of a misunderstanding. And what's crazy about this is sometimes they even use this drug, I guess you could say, for animals too. And I looked it up, and it's just horrible how he went. He shouldn't have went at all. There shouldn't be a death here. There shouldn't be a case. And there shouldn't be law investigations about it right now. And his family is still currently dealing with this. So if you would like to help, please go to the description below, pause the video, and go sign the petition. Sign it as many times as you can. Share it to your friends, your family, and also donate. If you can't donate, if you can't afford it, it's fine. Just sign the petition. And send it out there. Share this video. Share the channel. Share whatever. We have to get our voices out there. And we have to be heard. We cannot be silent about this anymore. Silence is complicit. You need to be a little explicit. Okay? We can't be silent anymore. Black, white, Asian, whatever. Speak up for what you believe in. Okay? That's what we're here for. He had a heart attack on the way to the hospital and died days later after he was declared brain dead. Now, I have something to say about this. I read it while doing my research. They confirmed his death as undetermined. They took him to a hospital where you can test for drugs in the blood system, in the urine system, even spit, whatever can give DNA. And if there is something in your bloodstream or whatever, you will be able to see it. He also had a heart attack, which you can also log in a hospital record. And he was declared brain dead. Now, I'm going to explain what that hold is. It's a chokehold of the carotid. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but it would be arteries right here. And your windpipe is here. I'm going to put a picture of it in here. You'll see it. So this hold, it is the most widely used type of stranglehold. To perform this, please do not perform this any means necessary. This is a disclaimer, so I don't get sued or anything. Do not do this chokehold. You will have charges pressed against you. You will hurt someone. You will possibly hurt someone so much that they could die. To perform this hold, an officer would be behind you and bend his arm, his or her, around a subject's neck, applying pressure on either side of the windpipe, but not on the windpipe itself, to slow or stop the flow of blood to the brain in the carotid arteries. So, they stopped his blood flow after they drugged him because he was fighting the arrest. Now, what's crazy is they had a body cam video, which will also be linked in the description below once I find it. It took them months to release it. You can see what happened. You can see how he reacted. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't move. They did basically the same thing that they did to George Floyd, except a drug was involved that a police officer probably should not have. Only a doctor should have something like that. And not just any doctor, I mean like a good, qualified doctor. Like the best doctor out there. Now, the Aurora, Colorado Police Department, APD, these were the officers who were there that killed this young man. Nathan Woodyard, Jason Rosenblatt, and Randy Rodema. You will see pictures of them inserted in here somewhere, along with pictures of Elijah himself. This case is very sad. They're all sad. But there are levels of sad that these cases allow you to feel. And you shouldn't even be feeling this way, because this kind of stuff should not be happening. Now, it would be so different if he was at this convenience store and he was walking around, you know, looking around, doing whatever, seeing who's all in the store, had a gun in his pocket, and then goes up to the cashier and does whatever a burglar does. Hey, give me all the money in the register. And then the police get called, and then they can take action. And if it escalates, then you can shoot when needed. He wasn't shot, let me say that again. He wasn't shot, he was drugged and choked. But if that situation were to happen, then yes, I can understand the need to take some action if it went out of hand. I'm going to say that again. If it went out of hand, if it got too far. Some police officers can't seem to understand that. So we got to dumb it down a little bit. If a situation gets out of hand to where you need to shoot, then you should take action. But that doesn't mean go guns a-blazing absolutely everywhere at every single moment of your life. So many young black people have died because of so-called misunderstandings. And that's not acceptable. It'll never be acceptable. There are so many lives that have been taken because of police officers. And yes, there are murderers and such. But the thing is, the people that are supposed to protect us are doing the exact opposite, and no one is doing anything about it. And the ones who are doing something about it, obviously, get discredited, they get hated, and they get fact-checked, even though they're the ones who know what's going on and are trying to prevent it from continuing. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking in my very first video, why are you hating on the police? Not all of them are bad. You're right. Not all of them are. But there are the good cops that literally will stand there and just let it happen because they don't want to lose their job. That's not acceptable. If the roles were flipped, everything would be different, you know? But, with that being said, we cannot take situations like this lightly, but we also cannot overreact. A lot of people will overreact to a point where it seems like we're doing this just because. And that's not the case. We're doing this because we need to. We're doing this because we need to fix the system. And I'm not talking just the police. We have to fix the whole system. The entire thing. And if you know your rights, you know what you can legally do. And if you don't know your rights, I suggest you go and look them up. It's not that difficult. Google is free. You can get whatever off of Google as long as it's a credible source. And if it's a credible source, write it down, post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter, post it on Instagram. Do something. You cannot sit here and act like this isn't important. It is important. If you are white and you are an ally to people of color, you need to take action. If you are in the community of people of color, you also need to take action. And yes, I know the riot situation. People have been saying that you should do it peacefully. We have tried peaceful, we have tried riots, we have tried everything. We've even tried conjugal meetings with the press to talk about these issues, and none of them have been fixed. The amount of people who have tried to help better the system because they're afraid of being wrong. It is okay to be wrong. It is okay to educate yourself. And that's what we need to start telling people. Like, once you understand at least enough to know how someone feels about these kind of things, then maybe you'll have a change of heart. You cannot tell someone that is going through something how they feel. You cannot tell a black individual how to deal with their oppression. You cannot tell a gay person how to deal with being gay. and how they feel about it and how they think about it. You cannot tell a trans person that they're born in the body that they're born in and that's who they're supposed to be. That's not how that works. Being black, being gay, being trans is not a choice. It is not a lifestyle. You are born that way. You can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, well, I don't want to be black today, so let me become, I don't know, let's see, what race can we be today? Let's be white for a day. Let me have all the privileges. Let me be able to go do this, 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 and this, and not get in trouble and get a slap on the wrist. Oh, I don't want to be gay today. Let's go get a girlfriend. Oh, I don't want to be trans today. I want to be a woman. I want to wear pretty dresses and cool makeup. Like, that's not how it works. Those are not lifestyles. That is a life. That is something you can't change. It is not a decision. That is just the way you are born. And you can't just decide those kind of things. And people don't seem to understand that. There are actual brain studies out there, and you can look them up on these kind of things. You can't just decide it. And people need to quit telling black people that when they talk proper, they sound white. When they act a certain way, they don't act black. They're not acting ghetto. That's not how it works. You can be proper without being white. You can act a way without acting black. You can do things and your race not be part of it. That is the problem with the world. You look at a person and you get to know who they are. Okay? Now, let's make up a person here. We're going to close this and we're going to make up a person. And you're going to follow me on this. Let's say our friend is black and she is a lesbian, but she follows the religion of Islam and she decides that she is going to go in. The only thing there that's a decision is her religion. She didn't decide to be black. She didn't decide to be a woman. She didn't decide to like women in a romantic way. The only thing she chose there was her religion. She can change that. She can quit that if she's not into it. But she can still support Muslims and people who want to do Islam. It's that simple. It is not hard to understand another person and their thoughts and who they are and who they decide to be. You don't get to decide who you are when it comes to your skin, when it comes to your sexuality, and when it comes to the gender that you belong to. You don't get to choose that. And you never will get to choose that. If you could choose that and have that as a decision, yeah, sure, maybe the world would be better. Maybe we would have more accepting people. But it's never going to be that way. Now, I will say this. 2020 is the most accepting year we have. Even though all of this stuff has gone down between a lot. There are so many people out there that care about black lives, about Muslims, about LGBT, about women. There are people that care. You just have to find them. And I'm sure you can find a lot of people that care about black lives. Because Black Lives Matter movement, it went worldwide. It went from here to Japan, to Italy, to Norway, to countries we didn't even learn about in school that are tired of racism. If it's so hard to grasp for Americans to get it through their skulls that racism is stupid and is bad, but other countries can see how dumb racism is before we do, our own country, there's a problem. There's a big problem, and we need to fix that. No questions. It might start small and it might start rough, but we all have to do something about it. We can't do this one person at a time. It needs to be everybody. And I know there's people out there who will never change their views because of how they were raised. But let me tell you something. That's got to stop too. Just because you were raised to believe that homophobia is bad, and that black people are criminals, and that Muslims are terrorists, and if they sag their pants, they're probably in a gang, regardless of their color, that needs to end. Because that isn't true. Yes, there are people in the communities that we're trying to protect and change so that they feel safer. There are people in those groups that mess that up and may feel like you'll never get anywhere. When I see a black person do a crime, I get angry. I'm like, we're trying to end that stigma. We're trying to make us look like humans. Because we are humans. You're human. And, you know, sometimes, yeah, petty theft, it happens. But it's not just black people out there committing crimes. Everybody else commits crimes too. Not all black people are thugs. Not all Muslims are terrorists. And one day, that'll be true. Forever. It'll be something you hear all the time, and people won't look back on it. I want there to be a moment in history, even if I'm not here to see it, where being black isn't wrong, where being Muslim isn't wrong, where being gay isn't wrong, where being yourself for who you are isn't wrong. There will be a moment like that. It may take all the time in the world, but we will get there. Now, I think I'm just going to leave you guys off with that, and hope you all take in consideration of everything me and Andrew say. So please stick around next Friday to see what Andrew has to say about, I'm not even going to say it because it's his video, about whatever he wants to talk about. Don't forget to like the video, comment, tell us what you think. Give us something to talk about, something serious. That's what we're here for. And share this video and subscribe. Now remember, don't be complicit, be explicit, and be kind, and have a change of mind, and a peace of mind. It's not that hard. I love you all. I'll see you the Friday after next, and goodbye.